Good afternoon, green folks. My name's Cliff Yankovich. I live and work in my favorite small town, Lowell, Michigan. I want to tell you a bit about a cool experience my wife and I had about a week and a half ago. We went and saw a high school musical at the Lowell High School. We saw their production of Mary Poppins. I got to tell you, I was blown away. Um, the the music, the singing from these kids, even the stagehands. I mean, this was not a high school production. You don't know me, but I've been involved with musicians and theater, and I've been a sound guy and a light guy. So my point is, I know talent when I see it, and I went backstage after the show and I just thanked every kid I could see and told them they did a spectacular job. What does that have to do with politics? Well, I'm going to tie it in here in a second. When I got home, I blogged about that and I went a step further because as I was writing, I realized that if certain people in our state and now on a national platform had their way and eliminated public schools and we went to an all-profit charter school system, charter schools aren't able to put on a production like my wife and I saw at Lowell High School. Number one, there's a large auditorium with comfortable seating for, I don't know, 275 people. They had lights. The orchestra, the band was playing live, and 2/3 of the band, I think, were high school kids. A couple of them I know. That kind of thing does not happen in charter schools. It takes money. It takes money to build an auditorium. It takes money to have a band and orchestra. It takes money even to buy the rights to perform the play. It takes money to have lights. Charter schools don't do that because their number one concern is making a profit. So my point in telling you all this is that even though my blog started out as just something to praise the kids, the directors, everybody involved in that show did a spectacular job, and I wanted to just express my joy and appreciation for having experienced it, but I was able to get a message across at the end of it. And that is, hey folks, if we didn't have this magnificent school with a beautiful auditorium, none of these kids would have experienced what they experienced. And I felt it was important to share that because right now our school system, the Lowell area schools, is asking for a continuation of the millage that we've had for the past 15 years because they've got to do some construction on some buildings. They've got to update. They've got to expand. Lowell's growing like a weed. Part of the reason we're growing is because we have awesome public schools. All right. So my point there is that you can get your message in. I don't want to say really a back door, but sort of a back door. My purpose in writing the blog, and I'll put a link to the blog at the bottom here so you can read it. My purpose wasn't to make a political statement, but as I was writing it, I realized this is a perfect opening for a political statement. All right, my next subject is that I'm going to encourage you to get involved. It's really great that the Green Party can put up a candidate for president and U.S. Senate and that kind of thing. But personally, I don't think that's going to work until we have a foundation. You don't build a pyramid by putting the capstone up there. You got to lay a big, wide foundation. All right. I ran for the 86th District Michigan House 2 years ago. I had some help from Aaron Fox and a bunch of other people. I got my butt kicked. And one of the things Aaron said to me is don't give up, get involved in the local level. Well, I'd been involved here in Lowell on various different committees, marketing and all that kind of thing, but I couldn't be on the city council unless I lived in the city and I had to live here a year. Once I met that requirement, I got on, and I've learned a ton. All right, I'm not trying to tell you that I'm a great guy or I'm great shakes or anything like that. What I'm saying is if we plug in Get on your school board, get on your town council, get on a park committee. If you just take 2 minutes wherever you live and look around, you'll see places where you can get involved. And the cool thing about doing that is you gain credibility. Instead of just sitting from the outside and bitching and complaining about things and it's not run the way I would run it, get your back into it, put some time in, get some credibility. I got to tell you, Lowell's a pretty red area, but they put up with me. And they put up with me because I put in my time and they realize, even though they might not agree with some of my wacky lefty ideas, they realize that my heart is in this community and that I want the best for it. Another reason to get involved is you might find out that things are better than you even thought. A week ago, I found out we have Lowell Light and Power here in Lowell. We're fortunate to have our own little utility company. Well, I found out that they offer a green energy alternative. All I have to do is pay 1 cent more per kilowatt hour, which means in my business, it's probably going to cost me $10 to $12 a month, and at home, probably $5 to $7 a month. But by doing that, I can designate that all the electricity I use is generated from green renewable sources. How cool is that? So I signed up and then I started telling people about it, and a couple of my friends signed up. I had no idea that even existed. And like I said, I've I've had a business in this town for 16 years and we've lived here for about a year and a half. So you can find things out when you get plugged in. All right. Um, I guess that's all I've got to say to you today. I would just encourage you, young, old, man, woman, whoever, wherever you are, get plugged into your community. Let's start building a massive foundation that we can build from and go up and up and up. Thanks for listening.